Welcome back. Well, aggravated pressure which is coming in on the mid-cap index in particular. So we have the mid-cap index and the intraday chart should show up for you. It's currently down around 1.4%. We have an advanced decline ratio which is weak as well and has been. But currently the advanced decline ratio stands at around 600 stocks advancing to around 1,300 stocks which are declining. And you can see that the deviation or the gap between both the red line as well as the green line seems to be extending at this point in time. So like we've been pointing out, a lot of stocks under pressure. We just spoke about Ashok Leyland. It has been under pressure, held a conference call at 10 a.m. today. That stock is down 5.5%. Glenmark, post its conference call, that stock is down around 6%. And Divi's Labs, there are reports of an IT raid which had taken place. So that stock is down around 4.5%, unverified as of now by CNBC TV 18. But we do have Manisha who's joining in to tell us what she's tracking from the entire commodity space. Manisha, over to you.
Ekta, thank you so much for that. Well, we have seen quite a bit of a volatility continuing for many commodities. Crude oil prices, let's begin with that. And it's yet another day where you have seen gains continue for this one. It's nearly 4% up and 5.5% up for crude and the US and Brent crude prices for this week. So strong gains being posted in this week. And for 2019, as I've been saying, we are 20% up for the Brent crude oil prices. Now, that clearly has been supportive of other commodities. Take a look at the gold prices to begin with, and we did see 7-month highs on that. It's come off those kind of prices, but the markets have seen constant strength on the back of geopolitical tensions. We also have the US and China trade talks where the markets are still awaiting some kind of resolution there. And then, of course, there are those Brexit concerns which also have continued to put in some safe haven buying into that space. Add to that, the US retail sales data for the month of December, that's come in the lowest in last 9 years, are some of the factors that have lent support in case of gold prices on your screens. David Ferguson now joins us on the phone line to talk further about that. David, hi, good to have you. It's been a volatile 2019 until now for the gold prices, but we stand in the positive till time. What is your sense on the kind of cues that the global markets are looking at, and does it encourage you going out buying gold at these levels?
Look, I've said before when I've been on the show that I'm positive on gold for this year. I think we'll end up the year, pretty measurably up on the year. There are a few sort of hiccups as we're seeing at the moment. At the end of the day, this US-China trade talks, I think, is the big issue in the global economy at the moment. And so I'm actually relatively optimistic of a sensible outcome there, actually, which I think will be relatively good. But it's a Friday night coming up, and Friday nights are always tricky for the gold price because as Asia shuts down and the gold traders go home in Asia, often the short sellers get involved in the US market when Asian traders are not around. So tonight is actually quite an important night night for us, and we want to see the gold price stay above the 1,300 levels tonight. And I think if that happens, that's actually quite positive for the gold price next week and in the short term.
David, while I remember our conversation last time as well, and you did say that you were bullish on the gold prices, what kind of levels are you still looking for the gold prices to see on the higher side? And I mean, as you said, it's important that the gold prices hold 1,300. What are the risks on the downside as well?
Look, if it breaches it, it's all a matter of short selling volume, and I wish I had an insight into how the short sellers, particularly in the US, tend to behave, but sadly I don't. Look, I think generally speaking there is a strong outlook for gold across the broader market. Now the question is whether aggressive short selling can undermine that confidence is not clear to me. But like I say, if it goes through to 1,300, I think we could go back to the sort of other support levels at around the 1260 mark in US dollar terms. But I don't see massive downside. But what I do see is upside towards the 1,400 mark. So on a 12-month basis, there's a very asymmetric return to the upside in our view. And of course, if it breaches 1,400, like I said before, then we're in a bull market, and you've got to be long gold.
Are you looking at 1250, 1500? Because those have been some levels that we've heard from the other banks and brokerages globally.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would look at a short-term resistance level at 1280 if it breaches 1300. But like I said, these are short-term, tactical impacts of short selling out of US trading times at Friday night. I mean, you go back and look at any. I'd recommend any of your traders who look at gold to go back and look at the performance of gold on a Friday night. And frankly, that's the best time in Asia to buy it, because you're always getting, a sort of 0.5% down, the percent down on the gold price. This is the time to buy is that,
Okay.
Chase the short sellers out. That's all we've got to do.
David, thank you very much. You leave us with almost a slogan. Appreciate you joining in. Thanks, Nid Manisha, for joining in and taking us through that conversation as well. There is a flash at the bottom of the screen. This is the Reliance Communications case. The Supreme Court has refused to stay. Reliance Supreme Court has agreed to hear the DOT plea against refund of 2,000 crore bank guarantee. I think we should get Ashmit on this. Refuses to say TDSAT order directing 2,000 crore bank guarantee. So that is basically what is coming through at this point. The RCOM stock on your screen.